Subpar Gamer here and ready to open a can of whoop-ass on the Portland Island Rampages. I should have stopped and gotten the ammo, but moving on. This video is going to be a little bit longer than other videos and has quite a bit more commentary. Now I will be honest, I really don't enjoy these rampages. To me they can be very random if you succeed or not. Sometimes you can't find enough people to kill, and other times public and police get in your way, or in some cases the rampage just becomes too hectic to complete. So the order I do these is based on getting the one I hate the most out of the way first. This one requires destroying cars with grenades, which are just as likely to kill you as it is the car. One way to get a small jump start is by parking your own cars under the bridge and using it to build up a small traffic jam just before you start. During this particular setup, you can see that things got a little bit crazy at the start. I'm being rammed and being punched, and I'm having trouble getting everything in the right place for the setup. So that should be good enough for now, and I want to get out of there before things get too crazy. So I'm going to start heading up to the top of the SkyTrain so that I can start this rampage. One other thing to remember is that once you get going with these explosions, the police usually start getting involved and will come and bring you cars to explode as well, which can be rather helpful. So before I grab this rampage, I'm just going to wait around, let the traffic try to build up beneath it. I'm going to keep an eye out on both sides and see if I can get traffic to spawn and to back up right where I can throw grenades at them from up here where it's safe. I was originally a little concerned that one was going to go sideways on me and kill myself with all those grenades, but I did finally manage to make it through, though I did lose a lot of my health and armor. So before I go on to my next rampage, I'm going to go to my first spot where I can pick up that health and armor and then head over to my next rampage. Since I have easy access at this point, the one I go after the most is usually the ones that are on top of the building. This way I can grab them, jump down, and move on to the next rampage. The second most annoying rampage for me is the other vehicle one where you have to use an RPG. Again, lots of explosion, easy to get out of hand, and die from damaging yourself if a pedestrian jumps in front of you just as you fire that RPG. Luckily, it is a little bit more controlled because you can target it, you can run around a little more, and you can get those RPGs quite far away from you before you fire them off. Also, just like the previous one, I use a similar setup where I park some vehicles and try to create a little traffic jam so there's plenty of cars there waiting just as I trigger the rampage.
southeast corner town.
Where the hell is
Spawn from 10 to southeast corner town.
that? The usual.
Suspects on foot.
Okay, we made. There he is! What was that?
10 to southeast corner town.
Where are you been? Get him!
Spawn from 10 to southeast corner town. Spawn from 71 to southeast corner town.
He's no chop.
Another one where things started to get a little bit out of hand. You also noticed a few times where I was about to fire an RPG and I noticed somebody was right in front of it, which would have killed me, or that I'd have to fire something very close just to kill the pedestrians that were starting to crowd around me in order to get rid of them. Now before I get on to my third one, I'm going to once again try to find some armor and some health so that I can refill and get ready for the next.
You got any bright ideas, wonder?
This third Rampage is the shotgun that's right down the alley beside the Mean Street Taxi Company. Well, that was rather rude of him. So one of the challenges with the shotgun is that it is not a very good range weapon. You can hit people at range, but it just annoys them and doesn't do much damage. So the best way is really to try to get up as close as you can before firing at it. You'll also see that one of my frustrations here is just trying to find people to attack.
Out of the way! This is an emergency!
Between this and the next Rampage, I only bothered to get health, as I couldn't find armor close by. I actually paused here just to check my maps to see if there was anything I could get, but figure health is enough for next one. Again, in situations like this, tools like the Map Genie website are fantastic for helping you find locations of health, armor, and other items. And one last thing I do want to remind people of, while I'm doing all of this in one go, there's nothing to stop you going and saving in between, especially if there's tricky ones where you might die. Do feel free to save in between and do one at a time, whatever works for you. I'm just doing it this way as it's more entertaining to watch somebody do the game rather than constantly save. coming up on the 4th rampage now, and here I get an Uzi and have to kill 25 Triad members. This is one of those situations where you have to be careful what you wish for, as there are plenty of Triad members around. The problem is, once you start shooting, they start to swarm around you. As you can see, I'm trying to keep the waterfront behind me so that nobody can sneak up and surround me completely, as that would be an instant death sentence. With that rampage behind me, it's time to move on to the next, and before that I wanted to fully heal and get armor once again. Usually, by this point, some of the armor from the first pickup will be respawning, but as you'll notice, I get there and realize it hasn't respawned yet. I was going to go search for another one, and then I remembered that right next to the next rampage is another armor and health pickup, so that's the one I'm going to get ultimately. So we've arrived where the 5th rampage is, and I'm going to pick up the armor and health before I get started. With this rampage, you're fighting against the Mafia, and they have pretty fast weapons that can quickly kill you. So I have to manage where those people are going to spawn and how they're going to reach me. And I found that this is one of the best spots to do that from. Staying up on this ledge, they can't walk up to you and they can't get around you, and so you can back away and get out of their range. Also, they can't shoot directly at you because you're higher than them, and they often hit the ledge instead of you. This is by no means perfect, as people crossing the streets can still reach you. So you have to be very careful, watch what you're doing, and monitor your health as you're going along. Since I came here with full health, there is still a health pickup right behind me if I need to get it. With that done, it's time to head on to the last one. Since I still have some armor and health, I'm just going to go ahead and complete the last one, without trying to pick up anything more. The last one isn't too far away, it's just down in the red light district. There's nothing too special with this one, just use the alley to protect yourself from behind, and don't get too exposed to open gun fire. while this rampage is going through, one thing I wanted to mention is that if you ever fail or don't complete a rampage in time, the location of that rampage will actually move. On Map Genie, these locations are listed under the miscellaneous.
Take out that line. Watch with 10-11, take out that line.
Now all the rampages are done, I'm going to head over, get some extra armor so that when I save, it will be saved with me, and then pick up the ammo outside of my safe house and get ready for my next video. With that out of the way, everything on Portland Island is done except for the vigilante and the firefighters, and even those can't be completed fully until I can do them on the other islands as well. So this is where things are going to get a little bit more interesting in the next video.